Hello children, welcome all. Today in this session we are going to learn about our chapter number 12, friction. So in this chapter we are going to learn about force of friction, causes of friction, factors affecting friction, types of friction, that is static, sliding and rolling friction, friction a necessity, friction an evil or nuisance, methods of increasing friction and methods of reducing friction and fluid friction. You may have wondered, why is it difficult to walk on a smooth and wet floor? And why do we fall when we step out on a banana peel? Have you ever thought that why our vehicles slow down when brakes are applied? And we have also seen that any ball moving on a surface stops after moving some time, after moving certain distance without any external forces applied. And for all these answers we are going to learn in this chapter. And in the chapter force and pressure, we have already learned that we need an external force. That is, force is a pull or push on an object, and force is applied to change the speed or direction or motion of an object that may be initially at rest or in motion. And the objects, like if you say a rolling ball, or it may be a moving bicycle, and it slow down and finally come to rest after the force acting on them has been removed, because there must be a force between rolling ball and the ground, what we call that as force of friction. That is, when you ride a bicycle and if you want to stop the bicycle, you apply a brake and immediately it comes to stop. And what is the reason behind this? Because there must be a force between the tire of the bicycle and the ground, what we call that as force of friction or frictional force. So now let us learn what is friction. And friction is an opposing force that opposes the motion of one body over the surface of another body. So always friction is an opposing force. When you apply a force and the object will move in the direction of the applied force, but the frictional force will act in the opposite direction. With one body, it should be contact with another body. And what is friction? As we have seen that it is a force that acts in the opposite direction of movement. The force, frictional force or friction, is the force which always opposes the motion of one object over another object, which in contact with it is called frictional force. And if you see here in the picture, a heavy box which is at rest, if you want to move it, will push the box in the direction of the force applied. That is a pushing force. Here, the surface of the box is in contact with the surface of the ground. So, the contact between the surface of the box and the ground, there exists a frictional force in the opposite direction of motion of that box. So always frictional force is which acts in a opposite direction of the movement or you can tell opposite direction of the force applied. And when you apply the force, the object also moves in the direction of the applied force. But always the frictional force which acts in the opposite direction of applied force as well as the motion of an object. And here also, if you see here, the man is pushing the cupboard, and this pushing force where he pushes along the same direction, the object also will move. But here the frictional force will act in the opposite direction of the motion of an object. And when it will come into notice, when we can realize where there is a frictional force or not, it comes in notice only when two surfaces are in contact with each other. That is why we call that as frictional force is also called as contact force. And this contact force is offered by all the three state of substances, that is solid, liquid as well as gases. But if you see that frictional force or contact force is maximum in case of solid and least in case of gases. And this frictional force we can understand better by this activity. That is, if you will take a book and keep it on a table, and if you push the book will move for some distance and afterwards it will stop. And the same way, now you will push the book from your right to left. First you push the book from your left to right, and then the same way you will push the book from your right to left. What can you see? And we can see that if we apply the force along the left, the friction will act along the right, because frictional force always acts in the opposite direction. And the same way in that next case, if you apply the force along the right, the friction acts along the left direction. So in both the cases, if you see, the frictional force opposes the motion of the book. That is why after some distance, the book stops moving. The force of friction always opposes the applied force. And in this above activity, if you see, where you can see that frictional force, you can see that frictional force in between the surface of the book and the surface of the table. So when the book is in contact with the table, then only frictional force will come in notice, where it will come in between the surface of the book and the surface of the table, where it in contact with each other. And now you may think, what causes friction? So if you see causes of friction, whatever surface it may be, surface of the solid, for example, the table surface or the surface of the book, you may think it appears to be smoother, but not actually so. The surface of the solid, liquid, whatever it is, they appear to be smoother but are not actually smooth. They possess some irregularities, what we call that as ridges and grooves. So if you take an example of that book and the table, the surface of the book as well as the surface of the table, even though it appears to be smooth, both they have irregularities called as ridges and grooves. And when these type of surfaces come in contact with each other, the ridges and grooves of both the surfaces get interlocked. So the opposing force, what we call that as opposing force as frictional force, they come in between, and because of that frictional force, it opposes the motion, so the object stops moving. So force of friction always acts in opposite direction to the motion of applied force. Now we will learn about what are the factors affecting friction. Factors, how this friction will be affected. First, nature of two surfaces which are in contact. If the surface is rough, the irregularities, what we call that as ridges and grooves, will be more. So they interlock. So the frictional force will be more. And if the surface of the object, if it is smooth, the irregularities, that is the grooves and ridges, will be less. So the force will be, frictional force will be less. So first factor that affect friction is nature of the two surfaces which are in contact. And second factor is magnitude of the force. Magnitude, that is quantity of the force, that is weight that pressing the two surfaces together. If the object which moves on other object, the object which moves over the other object, if it is too heavy, if it is weight, if it has more weight, then it presses the two surfaces together so that the irregularities of both the surfaces, that ridges and grooves, will get interlocked. So the force of friction will be more. And if the object which moves over the other object, if the weight is less, then the interlock between these two, that is ridges and grooves, will interlock in a very less manner. So the frictional force also will act in less. So the frictional force, it depends upon the nature of the two surfaces which are in contact, as well as the magnitude of the force, or you can tell the weight which pressing the two surfaces together. Now here, more is the weight of the body, more is the friction. If the box is too heavy, which is kept on the floor or kept on the table, if you push the applied force, you have to apply more force in order to overcome the irregularities, because here the frictional force will be more. If the box weight is less, you can easily move the box, because here the irregularities between the surface of the box and the floor will be less, so that the friction also will be less. By little applied force, you can move the box. So first one is weight. Say more the weight, more is the friction. Second is surface area in contact. The contact surface area, the contact between the two surfaces, if the surface area, if it is more, more is the friction. And here the boy is pulling. Here when he pulls, the contact between the toy and the floor will be less. So contact surface area, if it is less, the irregularities, that is between the toy and the floor, that ridges and grooves interlocked, will be less. So there will be less friction. So factors affecting friction are weight, that is the magnitude of the force applied, as well as the surface area in contact. Now this can be easily understand by this activity. You have to tie a string around a brick and pull the brick by a spring balance. You may have seen spring balance, and this, while pulling, you need to apply some force. And spring, when you pull the brick by a spring balance, you have to note down the reading on the spring balance when the brick is just begins to move, and the reading, it gives us the measure of force of friction between the surface of the brick and the floor. You note down the reading from the scale of the spring balance. Now what we have to do is, now we have to wrap a piece of polythene around the brick, and again we have to pull the brick by a spring balance. Now we have to note down the reading. Do we observe any difference in the reading of about two cases? Yes, when the brick is covered by a polythene bag. That is, the surface of the polythene is very smooth compared with the brick direct in contact with the floor. And when the polythene bag is wrapped, the brick is wrapped by a polythene bag, the irregularities between the polythene and the floor is less, so the interlocking will be less, so here the frictional force will be less. So if you compare the two reading, the frictional force in second case will be less. Now we have to repeat the activity, same activity, by wrapping a piece of jute bag around the brick. Now what we can observe, jute bag, if you compare, the nature is rough than the polythene. So here the frictional force will be more. So from this we can understand the surface, nature of the surface is one factor that affect the friction. More the rough surface, more is the friction. And now we'll learn about what is spring balance. So we know that spring balance is used to measure the frictional force, and spring balance is a device used for not only frictional force, used for measuring the force acting on an object. And here in that activity we have measured frictional force. When we measure this spring balance, we can see by the news paper vendor who takes old paper and he brings that spring balance, and here you can see that scale on the spring balance and as well as a hook. So the spring balance is used to measure the force acting on an object, and here when he measures the weight of the paper, nothing but he measures the gravitational force acting on an object. And here it consists of a coiled spring, and when force is applied to it, it gets stretched. And stretching a spring is measured by a pointer, which you can see here, which moves on a graduated scale. The scale which has a reading that is called as graduated scale. The reading on the scale gives us the amount of force acting on it. So this way we can measure the force acting on an object. So children, in this session we have learnt about what is frictional force and cause of friction, as well as the factors affecting friction.